How good is Undermine? Obviously this video will contain spoilers. Without further ado, let's analyze the new content and conglomerate it into a general rating. Undermine introduces a lot of new features, including drive, which, to be honest, I'm not good at driving in real life, let alone in World of Warcraft, but it is a fun little detail and reminds me a lot of dragon riding. Additionally, this patch includes new customizations for campsites, and while yes, you generally just stare at your campsites for 5 seconds, most of these are really easy to obtain, so minimal effort for minimal reward, and I actually think that's a good thing. Good job, Blizz. One thing I'd like to mention right before we get into the serious stuff is the amount of humor in this patch is unparalleled. It is hilarious. I mean, the first moment that sticks out, major spoilers, is when Illyria gets stuck at customs and they're talking about dangerous weapons. I was nearly wheezing, alright? I thought that was so fucking funny. It just brings together the general vibe of goblins, unintentionally funny. I mean, the soundtrack slaps, and with new world quests, world bosses, mounts, transmog, finally we'll get some mecha transmog that's not for mechanomes. It's just, that alone deserves a point in and of itself. It's great. I'm also glad that Gazlo is playing a larger role now, as he for a long while was one of my favourite WoW characters but wasn't talked about that much. The way it's going, it seems like he might become the new Goblin leader. As of recording, it's the 4th of March, so I do not know yet what specifically will happen in the end, since Gallywix isn't available as a raid boss yet, but we will see. Also, I'm quite excited to see him fall, because holy shit, he is annoying, but amusing. One thing to note is also the continuation of the story of the Dark Art. It was not completely destroyed, instead it was merely broken, and Xal'atath tasked Gallywix with trying to fix it. Well, knowing Gallywix, this did not go according to plan, and I already warned in the beginning, there's spoilers. The Dark Art goes off to the Ethereals, which is later revealed do not work for Xal'atath, so in my opinion it introduces a whole new dynamic, since up until now we thought the Ethereals were likely with Xal'atath. Even Illyria herself thought that, but that's not the case. This is a whole nother can of worms. Furthermore, I'm noticing a trend here. Races that did not have a capital city or had one that was destroyed, like with the Night Elves for example, are getting cities again. I can only hope that later on, for goblins, you can have a house in Undermine. That would be amazing. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, don't quote me on it, but it would be a nice future, so if anyone from Blizzard is watching this, which I highly doubt, please, my goblin main needs a house in Undermine. For world quests, the world quests are your standard world quests, though there are a few that do stick out, like detonating the bombs. I remember I smacked myself in the face a few times because I forgot you had to target the bomb. That was hilarious. That's a fun world quest. It's a little bit unique, and you can see Blizzard trying out new things here and seeing if they work, and for me at least, I think they're great. Please keep delivering. Though, what you think of it is entirely up to you. Furthermore, if you want more Valor Stones, just do the campaign quests. I got up to 450 just by doing the campaign quests. It's great. Great way to upgrade your item level. Also, just the base item level you get from the quest items are decent enough. They're not amazing, but if you're stuck on item level 550, it is a huge upgrade, so I definitely recommend Undermine if you need to upgrade your gear quickly but you don't want to raid or do mythics. Additionally, if you got bored of the original Delver's I cannot pronounce that word, I suck, there's also now a Goblin version. There's a little less customization, but you can still customize it a little bit, and I'm going to assume that they're going to add more, but don't quote me on that. By the way, did you ever notice that their wheels go up when they fly? It's like a little plane. It's so, I don't know, it's a nice attention to detail. As for the delves are delves. They're just as versatile as the others. They're not exactly a carbon copy from each other, which is a little bit refreshing and quite nice, and also offer some nice gear. The storylines in the delves are short, sweet, but filled with, well, drama. That's pretty much what it's all about. I cannot yet comment on the Liberation of Undermine raid. I have not done it. In a few days I will, and I might make a separate video reviewing that entirely. Unless you want to do it yourself, that's perfectly fine too. When it comes to quests, similar to the world quests, you can see Blizzard had a field day with trying out new things, and honestly, I like it. I also like that they're introducing a little bit more shock and horror again, since for a long time it was just family, family here, family this, which is sweet and all, but it's still World of Warcraft, and we finally got themes of kidnapping and such, so it does get a little bit darker finally. Not too much, not to the extent where your average emo kid would get a boner from it, but it's still pretty good. By the way, I am the emo kid, so don't take offense. As for Easter eggs, there's Easter eggs, oh plenty. I'm not going to get into any here because that would ruin the surprise. But just look around the environment a little bit. You'll find a lot of familiar faces and also familiar looking objects, familiar lines, and also a few sneak little references. It's kind of sweet. As for overall lore, the story in of itself, I would give a solid 9 out of 10. It's really good, especially the revolution part. I really like it, and it sadly reflects the state of the real world right now, but let's not get into that, shall we? This is not a political channel, this is a gaming channel. As for the transmog, the obtainable mounts, and all that, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It could be more polished, but I think what we got is pretty good. Now on to the quests and world quests. I would give them a solid 7.5, maybe even an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, it's engaging, and it's something new. I mean, of course, you have your standard kill this, collect that quests, but you also have some in there that are a little bit unique, and I like that. Delves, I'm unfortunately going to give a 6 out of 10. I myself, I'm just not a fan of delves in general, that is a personal opinion. Honestly, if you like delves in general, it's probably going to be an 8 or 9 out of 10 for you. I'm just not a big delve person. For the overall new equipment you can get, the item levels, the difficulty of procuring them, the new activities such as a drive, all of that combined into one, I would give a solid 8 out of 10. It's fun, though I do wish the citizens would react more if you accidentally bumped into them. Obviously you wouldn't kill them, this is not GTA, but it would be fun if they shouted at you like, hey, watch where you're going or something. As for bridging the gap between the next patch, which will likely be Season 3, the next major patch I mean, I think it's relatively open, which is exactly what Blizzard intended, which can let our imagination run wild. I think that's a good thing, to not make it too obvious as to in which direction this is going. I do hope we will see more of the dark art and the ethereal soon, but we'll see. I'll add one more little thing here, the graphics. I think the new models for several items, including, the renovated city of goblins, it looks nice, it fits the goblin aesthetic, and it tickles my little goblin fancy. I like it, so I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10 as well. And combining all of the points together, unfortunately not including the raid quite yet, so don't consider this a final rating, I would give the patch an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good, it's really fun. I enjoyed it, doesn't mean you have to, but I myself enjoyed it quite a lot. And also the cartel system, working with the different cartels and being able to choose, is just mwah, it's amazing. And please do let me know if you disagree or if you do agree. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe.
Watching them tear you apart. I don't need you. I don't need